Okay, here's round one. One land hand, auto mull. 3 land hand, we'll keep. So, it's not a great hand. We'll be able to drop him on turn 2. And you've got removal. Probably gonna have to cast this one before this one just to get stuff in this graveyard. But it'll work, kind of. As long as we don't get stuck on stuck with 3 land and never draw anything any spells small, it should work. And our opponent's not showing up, so I'll pause for now. Alright, so here we go. Drop the tap land, pass turn. Alright, that's not what we wanted to see. I'm gonna drop the island. Make this guy think we're playing Simic. He's got a swamp. There were definitely some good Orzhov cards in here. Alright, so we're not going to get stuck on 4 lands. We don't have double black, however, so that kind of sucks. So we're just going to beat for 2. And hope we start drawing some action. Yep, that's going to be a problem. So, my options are to stay back and try and trade with the pet, or I could soul ransom him, which would be interesting. Soul ransoming would allow me to get him in for 1 point of damage now. Like, normally you want this on a better creature, but an early extorter can just do so much, and putting that in my deck instead of his could be good. I may live to regret this, but there's really not that much in Orzhov that's nasty and I want to take, so I'm just going to do it. Just do it. It's crazy, but just do it. He's like, you did what? And the what? And he's probably reading this card going, it does what now? So hopefully we kill him with his own pet. That'd be great. I would have rather Grizzly Spectacled him, but we don't have double black mana, so that's just the way it is. Night of Obligation. Alright. Alright, so we are going to get to 5 mana. Still don't have double black, which is pretty annoying. So, we play the Key Rune. We can, let's see. Yeah, we can play the Key Rune now, extort off of it with the Swamp, and we'll be able to tap the Key Rune to activate Metropolis Sprite, and we'll be dealing 5 damage to him this turn, gaining 1 life. And that sounds like a pretty good plan to me. Alright. Blue. Alright. So we're doing some work to him. It's pretty good. He's hitting us back, but you have some extortion going on. Let's see how this extends. So he's extorting us back. Horror, we don't have mana for that yet. So I'm going to Urban Evolution now. If we draw another island, we can play that and get this in. So that'll be good. I did. Oh, balls, balls, balls. Are you freaking kidding me? I was just trying to do that and I activated his ability. Holy Christ. Holy Christ. Alright, well, we can now stay back and activate him as a blocker. Criminy sakes, I can't believe I did that. Card draw. Good. Maybe he won't even notice that this guy can turn into a creature. Maybe he didn't. Maybe he's got a trick. Either way, we're just going to have to do it. He does become hexproof, so the only thing he can do is the combat trick. Yeah, I don't think he realized he could turn into a creature. So we're going to kill him. Alright. Well, that's stuff. Stuff. Hopefully we draw land and can play this guy. That'd be pretty good for us. Maybe he... see, I'm at 8 life now, so maybe it was worth just sacrificing him to get in 4 points of damage. So he's stealing Soul Rance, or this guy back, but he's not going to be tapped. Or he's going to stay tapped so I can hit this turn. I get to draw 2 cards, which are not lands. So, and he double extorts. Alright, that's getting annoying. Alright, there's our swamp. So let me think, what do I want to do? Oh, I guess it wasn't that bad to not cast Urban Evolution, but that would have drawn us that swamp. Alrighty then. So we're at 6 life, so that's not good. He has 3 creatures in his graveyard. So we don't have to mess around with extort triggers. I think we just want to play the horror and bounce probably the Kingpin's Pet. Maybe this guy though. No, probably the Kingpin's Pet, since we can't block him this turn anyway. This guy at least will come down and be pretty nasty to him. He will get... This does get him 1 extort trigger, but then he'll have an empty hand. So I think that's just what we do. And we go ahead and hit with him, because we're not going to chump block, I don't think. We are at 6 life. Oh boy. Sorry, he only has 2 creature cards in here. Yeah, I think this is the only way forward. I think we might have to stay back and chump with this guy, though, which is so sad. Yeah, but he's at 11 life. We're not close to killing him. And let's say Kingpin's Pet, get out of here. And he discards those guys. Okay. So maybe we chump with this guy, maybe we don't. We'll see. I think keeping him back's okay, because he doesn't want to attack with this guy into this. So he sacrificed that and got protection from blue. Okay, so hit me for 2. trying to extort us out, I guess. So now he's got 3 creatures in his graveyard, right? No, he's got 4. Okay. So, that hurt. Alrighty. Well, I really wish that was a swamp so we can Grizzly Spectacle and whatever else. Let's see. Well, I think, let's see, we can Death's Approach, kill this guy, and can we get Urban Evolution? So that would be that plus that, and that, or whatever, which would leave 1 mana up for this guy, and I think that's what we have to do. Alright. So we Death's Approach that guy, and maybe we should Urban Evolution first, but it's probably not going to matter. Let me just tap it this way. God, I gotta just click on the right spells. I don't know what's wrong with my head today. I did not draw land. That's kind of sad. So you can sneak in for 1 this or 2 this turn, and then if he has a spell, we're just dead, I guess. Although he'd have to, yeah, he'd have to main phase the spell, but he can't do anything else. No, we're probably dead. We made a run at it. He actually did the pitch 2 cards and then give me 2 cards. I just was a little too slow and awkward, I think. Missed some land drops along the way. Not being able to cast him for a while was not good. So yeah, he's got us dead, if he sees it. Okay. So we're dead. Alright. Well, I don't want to run 18 lands with 4 key runes. That's excessive, and I don't want to run less than 17 because I still have to get to 3 to cast it. I don't know if there's anything we want to add. Oh, I have every blue card in the deck. Right Gear might not be horrible, but since we're all small creatures, but I'm not going to run it. Alright, let's try it again. Play first. Oh, this is interesting. I think I can keep this. I've got a Basilica Screecher on turn 2, which is good. I do have double black. I don't have any blue access yet, but I've got so much access to blue. I've got four key runes and was it 8 or 9 lands? So I'll keep it. Hope we get lucky. And hopefully we draw land. Land and a key rune would be good, something like that. He mulliganed once, that helps quite a bit. Alright, there's the key rune. So we really need to draw land next turn, we'll be okay. Certainly need to do it in the next couple turns. Snetic land, perfect. Alright, so we hit him for 1. Could have done the Hands of Binding thing, but I think I want to get up my mana. I think I want to ramp my mana up, and then we'll start messing around with that stuff. Extortion on the way. Alright, so we can Shadow Slice and hit him for 7 this turn. That's not horrible. But I think what I want to do is Hands of Binding, and I can extort him twice off of that one spell, and then he can't attack me next turn. So that's a pretty good tempo swing. Tap target creature opponent controls. You can't tap your own creatures, that's kind of odd. Well, actually, no, that's good, because otherwise you'd have to, if you, well, you don't have to play the spell, so whatever. Waiting for Gyrovan. Didn't say anything. So essentially we're going to gain 2 life and do 3 damage to him this turn. Take away his counter swing. It's pretty good. You got Soul Ransom available if he plays anything I don't want to deal with, which he hasn't shown anything I don't want to deal with yet. Oh, this is interesting. So he's sacrificing that, so this spell's not going to resolve because there's going to be no legal targets, and I am going to not get this ciphered. Okay. Well, he lost his Snetic. That's not a horrible play for me. Playing that as a kill a Snetic is it's acceptable. It does tell me he probably doesn't have any removal. Otherwise, he'd just be like, alright, whatever. It's an interesting play choice. I thought that wouldn't be so bad he wouldn't even bother with it. So I might Soul Ransom that feller. I got a Nimbus Swimmer I could cast for 3. So I think I want to steal his Knight of Obligation, because that just shuts down his attacks. I can extort once this turn. Yeah, that works for me, and we'll get more extort later. Alright, watch the time a little bit. We're not in bad shape, but he's playing pretty fast. Alright, well, there goes that. So I think we're just gonna, well, we can pass the turn and leave up Psychic Strike, or we can Shadow Slice, or we can Nimbus Swimmer. Shadow Slice, so we'd hit him for 7 this turn. I think maybe we just put him on a clock with that. Yeah, we'll Shadow Slice. Unfortunately, we can't extort off of it, but let's make him pay. And if we can Shadow Slice plus extort, that's just going to make things really awkward for him. I don't think he has a way to deal with this, otherwise he would not have sacrificed his Snetic to prevent the Hands of Binding. Cast. Yeah, there's a lot of clicking in this deck. So that's like that's a 2-turn clock right there if he can't deal with it or block it. Okay, well that's alright because we can Grizzly Spectacle with Flyer. And we can extort off of that as well. Grisly Spectacle, and he just scoops right there, rather than letting us look at more of his deck, which we don't really have that much of a sideboard anyway, so it almost doesn't matter. I wonder if I should run the Prophetic Prism just for some extra extort, cheap extort spell, and it also does some color fixing and draws us into cards. If I ran that, what would I cut? Maybe one of the key runes? Having 4 of them does seem kind of excessive. And not cutting any of, well, I could cut him, but I need creatures. So I could cut Totally Lost, perhaps. Or I'll cut one of the. I'll cut a Simic Key Rune for a Prophetic Prism. Less rampy, but more fixy, and you draw a card. Still the same amount of fixing. Fixing both ways. We've had a little trouble getting the double black, and being able to extort more easily might be better. So, alright. This is a pretty good hand. Would like to have an invasive creature. Having Soul Ransom every game is pretty good. And is he thinking about a mulligan, or is he just AFK? He did submit before me, so he might be AFK. I'll pause it for you guys. He wasn't much far away. Alright, so we're going to keep this hand. And play land, say go. Wish we had a 2-drop creature. We might still draw one. I mean a 2-drop evasive creature. But we got the Frilled Oculus, which is very playable. Very, very playable. We could drop the Gift of Orzhova on him next turn. Make him 2/4 flying lifelink, Devour Flesh. Alright, so that's not going to happen. Alright, well, that's something we can play eventually, but we got nothing right now. We might, I don't know. This guy would be good eventually. I mean, I guess we could play him as a 2/2 flyer, but I think we want him as at least a 2/3. And I think we Soul Ransom the Kingpin's Pet. He hasn't shown anything else that we want to take, and except the 4/4 Angel token. But I think we go ahead and Soul Ransom anyway. Take away his ability to extort, and we can start swinging with him. And I'll go ahead and admit it. Yes, every game. Sorry. So he's got them. We're not worried about them since we've got so many flyers. The extort is the only thing that really sucks about that. But we're fine. Alright. So I could Hands of Binding, but that would, if he does take him back, he will have that under, he will be able to Hands of Binding me back, which I definitely don't want that. So I think I'm going to swing, and I think I want the 3/3 Nimbus Swimmer. Bigger is better, but I don't want to pass turn 5 doing nothing. And then we can play the Hands of Binding on him next turn. No extort. And we can play Gifts of Orzhova on him or Hands of Binding. Maybe Hands of Binding first. We want to do the extortions for sure. Well, he's 1 mana away. Hmm. Is he? If he's bluffing, I'll just let him have it, because this guy's going to be pretty crucial. Okay. So we do have Urban Evolution with 1 Extort. I think that might be the play. Urban Evolution with an Extort. We could do Hands of Binding and take away his swing at us this turn. That's also viable. I don't know. Draw cards. I think maybe we need to keep this guy away from our life total. So, yeah, we're going to go to 15 with the Urban Evolution. So, we'll do that now. We'll do it in case he's thinking of soul ransoming back. I want to extort off of it before he has the chance to undo that. Yeah, so he did decide to do it. So we got an extra extort trigger. That's good. And he pitched his hand to get that back. And now we know that's what we're facing. So we probably want to stay back on defense. And we will play the... Wait, Alright, let me check his graveyard. He's only got 1 creature in the graveyard. So Death's Approach doesn't quite work yet. So we can't really do anything except stay back, and we can block, which would screw him over. So we'll just play the land that comes out tapped and say go. Yeah. Doing this before he declared attackers, so if he comes at me, we know what to do. Okay. So we can Gift of Orzhova, turn him into a 4/4 flying lifelinker. That's pretty good. So how much mana do we have up? We have 8 mana. So we could do that and Shadow Slice. So that would be like pretty much game over for him if he doesn't do something quick. He'd take 10 damage this turn, facing 7 more next turn. Is there any instant speed removal I need to worry? Yeah, there is some instant removal is possible. But I think he would have done it on his turn, so he could have swung if he could remove. Alright. So maybe, yeah, would like to get some more creatures. But since we don't have any other creatures, we might as well put our eggs all in one basket. And we've got removal and stuff if this does not work. Oh, he could have Smite. Smite would suck. So yeah, his swing at me is only 6. Alright, so he swings back. He probably just drew a land. He probably drew 2 land. That Soul Ransom is nasty. So we have a Psychic Strike available. So I'm pretty sure he's going to chump block. So I want to get rid of this guy anyway. I'll do 7 to him this turn and gain 4 life. And I'll have Psychic Strike available. So let's do that. I'll make a Grizzly Spectacle out of that Kingpin we were so fond of earlier. And what did we mill? So that also makes Death's Approach solid removal. We have Psychic Strike available. I think we got this game pretty well in the bag. Since we have a counterspell up. Yeah. Alright. So that was pretty good. Alright, we will see you in round 2 then. Oh, and just a note, after that match, we finally got over 1700. So we're getting into the range of where my rating, I think, should be. Should be probably 1720-ish. 1725 is probably a fair, accurate description of my playing ability. It will vary, of course, a fair bit around there, but we're getting into where I think I am. I'd like to be a good enough player to consistently hold like a 1760 average, but yep, that was that.